Wow, what a weekend we just had of Pokemon VGC. Three major events happening in one weekend. Massive cornerstone for the format of Regulation I. This is the first double restricted format we've had in Scarlet and Violet, and a massive piece of data that we've got from each region of the world. We had a tournament in Melbourne, Utrecht, Santiago, and today we'll be breaking them down, talking about what happened, the results, what teams rise to the top, what teams fell off a bit, and yeah, just some takeaways, what expectations we can take away into Portland and Bologna. So yeah, massive weekend in tournaments, loads of hype moments, loads of really cool teams popping up, loads of teams returning, and what can I say? Every single tournament was won by Calyrex. Calyrex Shadow won over in Melbourne. In Utrecht, Michael DeBeste or Michael Kelsch won with Ice Rider, and in Santiago, I believe it was also won by Ice Rider as well. Miraidon also picking up another win, which is really cool to see. Is Miraidon actually the best restricted Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet? So let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think Miraidon is the number one, the S tier restricted Pokemon, or do you think the Calyraxes are better? Because Miraidon is now single-handedly one of the best Pokemon in the format. It's got as many wins through Regulation G and through I as the other two horses, so it's interesting to see what is going to be the Pokemon that wins the World Championship, because this is the same format that we're going to have in August. So yeah, a lot of really cool takeaways. We'll start over the pond, down under in Melbourne. What I'll do for this video, I'll kind of break down what teams or restricted duos, as well as non-restricted Pokemon that really shone doing each event, and we'll kind of discuss them, break them down. I'll do a little prediction video for Portland as well. But before we get into it, I wanted to show you guys a really cool video that I found on X, which was from Mario, or Oliver Ramsey, who also got top 8 at Melbourne. I just wanted to show you guys this awesome video of him playing former world champion Shohei Kimura in round 6. So both players are undefeated. A win for either side would be a massive advantage going into day 2. Well, it would guarantee day 2, and it'd be a massive advantage trying to make top 8 as well. So I believe this is game 3, set 3, and it comes down to a paralysis. But I'll just play it out for you guys. Just awesome. Love to see it. Like, both players playing with loads of emotion, really good sportsmanship, and just really like close sets. I think this guy summed it up in the comments. This is what the game should be: close sets, good sportsmanship, and just passion, respectful passion as well, not being obnoxious. Just really, just, you know, it comes down to two top players just playing great sets, and yeah, just playing with their emotion as well, but in a sportsman-like fashion. So yeah, absolutely love to see it. I thought I'd share that with you guys. And I want to also mention that Michael DeBeste said, I'm winning Utrecht a couple of days before the tournament, and he went and won it. So yeah, massive congrats to those two guys, Oliver for making top 8 and Michael DeBeste for winning Utrecht. So Melbourne was the one of the 3 tournaments that happened this weekend, and we can see from day 1. So yeah, we see here, number 1 most represented duo was the Lunala and Miraidon. That's kind of a given how dominant it was in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago. And then we also see the Lunala Calyrex, which is quite an interesting pick. I think this is quite an underrated duo. It has been somewhat popular, by kind of on the fringes of being like a B tier or a low A tier team at the moment. But yeah, really interesting to see that's the second most popular pairing. And then we see Ice Rider Miraidon, which has proven to be like a top A tier, S tier duo, and probably just one of the strongest duos offensively and defensively as well. And then we see Miraidon and Ho-Oh, which is, well, it's the same usage as Zamazenta Shadow Rider. But yeah, these two definitely picking up in usage, as shown from Milwaukee as well, with Addy made top 8, or top 16, sorry. And then we see Shadow Rider Calyrex, another really good offensive duo as well. And then we look at the trends into day 2. We have Shadow Rider Zamazenta spiking all the way up to the top, being joint with Ice Rider Miraidon. So these two restricted pairings just rising completely to the top. And we see Shadow Rider and Terrapagos also being among the mix as well. So yeah, let's just have a look at the top 8 teams. So yeah, interesting enough, Shadow Rider, Calyrex winning the whole thing. We see, well, even more interesting, we see Shadow Rider, Ice Rider all the way through, scattered all the way through in top 8. And one Calyrex. Sorry, 2 Calyrex top 8. 1 Lunala, the rest are just Miraidon, 2 Miraidon, 2 Zamazenta, 2 Terrapagos. Really interesting to see these results. Again, I think a lot of these teams were known. I think this team was kind of picking up before the tournament as well. Yeah, Ability, Shield, Calyrex was also picking up with usage. Interesting to see how that won. But congrats to them for winning and picking up a decent bit of cash and an auto invite to the World Championship as well. Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, you'll probably see this as a trend for the rest of the tournaments, that this duo has been picking up quite a bit in terms of a trend across all 3 regions. But yeah, that's kind of just to wrap it up for Melbourne. I don't think there's anything else. I think a Diglett made day 2, which is kind of crazy. Not too sure how they finished, but I believe a Diglett made day 2. And I'm going to try and find it. I probably should have found it for the video, but yeah, I'm pretty sure a Diglett made day 2. If you guys have spotted it, let me know in the comments. If you know exactly what place they finished, let me know, and we'll recap it next time. But yeah, we'll quickly go over to Utrecht. What I'll do is I'll pick out the top 4 day 1. So again, Lunala Miraidon spiking to the top in day 1 usage. Over in Utrecht, Ice Rider Miraidon being second, Shadow Rider Zamazenta, and then Calyrex and Lunala. And then if we look at day 2, we see Lunala Miraidon staying on top with Shadow Rider Zamazenta overtaking the Ice Rider Miraidon, and then we see Shadow Rider Terrapagos spiking up as well. So some interesting trends we can already see where Lunala Miraidon also stayed on top. That's kind of been the top team to build around, and then we see the spike usage of Shadow Rider Zamazenta. We see the dominance also of Ice Rider Miraidon, and we see the rise of Terrapagos with Shadow Rider as well. So some interesting trends we're seeing across the board here. And then we'll go over to Santiago. There isn't any data on this yet. I believe, yeah, there's no teams sort of live for data, but kind of have you some data over from X. Juan Solero playing Shadow Rider Zamazenta. We see in top 4, Lunala Calyrex, Lunala Ice Rider, which is interesting. It's a hard trick crew team. So yeah, quite a few interesting teams. Some more top 64 teams here. Terrapagos, Shadow Rider picking up, Shadow Rider Calyrex as well. And then the winner, Max Morales, who played Miraidon, Ice Rider, with that trusty duo with Iron Hands, Volcarona, Isluna and Grimmsnarl. Also, one thing to note as well, the Grimmsnarl usage is spiked up massively. I haven't got the data in front of me, but oh yeah, here we go. So Grimmsnarl usage being the 3rd most used non-restricted Pokemon in day 2. That is absolutely mind-boggling. I think the power of screens has really taken off. I would suggest or sort of predict that Pokemon like Frigoraph, Indeedee may potentially go up alongside Grimmsnarl, because those Pokemons kind of counter Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl can only really hit Spirit Breaks into the team, but if you're leading like an offensive duo, you can just take care of the Grimmsnarl. And if you have Frigoraph, you can stop those Thunder Waves from coming off, because Frigoraph protects from priority as well. So yeah, really interesting to see the Grimmsnarl is the 3rd most used non-restricted Pokemon. Kind of crazy. So yeah, just to sum up really what we've seen so far. So Shadow Rider rising all the way to the top, same as Ice Rider. Miraidon still being the top dog. Not as much Miraidon and Lunala in Melbourne. I think there was a decent bit in Utrecht from what I remember. Yeah, we saw a couple on stream. We saw Luca Charabelli playing a version without the Grimmsnarl, but with the Whimsicott, same version that won Milwaukee Regional Championships the other week. So yeah, I expect that trend, that duo, to stay within the top 4 sort of used restricted duos, and I expect the trend of Ice Rider Miraidon to stay on top, and I expect the trend of Zamazenta Shadow Rider to rise as well as Shadow Rider Terrapagos, which has been on the trend as well. So really, really interesting takeaways, I think, going into Portland, which I believe is this coming weekend, and then we have Bologna in Italy the weekend after. And then I believe that is the season finished. So only 2 regionals left before NAIC. And in NAIC, I think a lot of players will show their hand of what they think is the best solution going into Worlds, refine it after NAIC because we have about a month to break, to take away and reflect. But I do think that a lot of top players will show their hands at NAIC. I think at Bologna and at Portland we'll see the same sort of duos. We'll see Zamazenta Shadow Rider. We'll see Ice Rider Miraidon. Expect to have if you're playing at any tournaments, I expect to have game plans or expect to have game plans into these teams. But I think a lot of the top players will show their hands at NAIC going into Worlds. So really interesting takeaway of data. Some teams on the trend, some teams kind of staying at the top. I expect to see probably more Shadow Rider and Zamazenta at Bologna and at Portland. I still think people might be experimenting, but I expect to see those two rise back up to the top. So let me know your guys' thoughts. We'll close the video there, but if you enjoyed this sort of content, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.